Hello and welcome to L-Space Archives. So today we have a surprise book haul, a surprise for me as well as for you. So recently we were over in Mesa on the east side of the valley and we stopped by Uncle Aldo's attic. If you're unfamiliar with that, you can watch a previous video where I talked about it, but this is a place that Nick from the book Graveyard introduced me to. It's basically they sell vintage vinyl there, but they have one wall where they have old paperbacks and hardbacks, all pre-barcode. And so I picked up a few books from there. But then, as I was going to check out, Uncle Aldo, which is not his real name, but I will forever refer to him as Uncle Aldo, said, "Would you be interested in a box of free books?" And I said, "Huh?" And his only stipulation was I had to take the whole box. He felt bad about getting rid of them, but he throwing them away, but he didn't have room for them in the shop. He'd rather they go to somebody who would appreciate them. And so I have this massive box of free books courtesy of Uncle Aldo, and I haven't looked inside. I have no idea what's in there. For all I know, it could be filled with Harlequin romance. It might be newer books and just be 100 copies of James Patterson. I have no idea, but we'll find out together. But first, the ones that I actually bought. I picked up The Puppet Masters by Robert Heinlein. And surprisingly, I did not have this one in my collection. Also, and only a couple of these are actually sci-fi, but I picked up Gardner J. Fox's Tom Blood Highwayman. This will technically be my wife's book because if you have highwaymen or pirates in the book, it's going to end up in her collection. But Gardner Fox also wrote sci-fi as well as comic books, so that's going to be fun. I will end up reading it as well. Also picked up an old copy of Agatha Christie's There Is a Tide. This is Hercule Poirot. And The Happy Thieves, the wildly witty novel about the adventures of a master thief. Action, suspense, intrigue, sex, and humor by the author of Manchurian Candidate, Richard Condon. So evidently this was also turned into a movie with Rex Harrison and Rita Hayworth. I have not seen that movie, so I'll have to read the book, and then if I like it, I'll check out the movie. Speaking of movie tie-ins, I'm also a big fan of Dean Martin and the Rat Pack, and I have a novelization of the original Ocean's 11 with Sinatra, Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, and Angie Dickinson. And then we have another, this was also turned into a motion picture. It is John McPartland's The Wild Party. A gang, a girl, a night made for evil, and a one-way ride down Terror Street. Read the book, see the great motion picture. And we also have I don't think I actually have any R.A. Lafferty. He's hard to find out in the wild, but I picked this one up, The Wreaths of Earth. A Plague of Demons. So, so I've hear about him all the time, but I don't think I've ever actually read any R.A. Lafferty. And then we have The Sin and the Flesh. His twisted hatred ripped apart the whole city. This is by Lloyd S. Thompson. I do love that cover art on there. Then this was a title buy. Well, and initially a title buy when I saw the spine, and then a cover buy when I saw the cover. This is The Deadly Mermaid by James Atlee Phillips. Okay. Now this is, I have quite a few by Robert Lynn Asprin, but I've never even heard of this one, Tambu. The true story of an interstellar Genghis Khan. I'm doubting the veracity of that, but I do have quite a few of Robert Asprin, so looking forward to that one. And another Agatha Christie. This is And Then There Were None. And also by Agatha Christie, So Many Steps to Death, which I think this has a little more of the espionage type thriller. This is my first Mike Shane mystery by Brett Halliday, What Really Happened. And I hear Jim from Mystery and Mayhem talking about the Mike Shane novels a lot. This is a movie that both me and my wife loved, with Peter O'Toole and Audrey Hepburn. It's a novelization of How to Steal a Million, which I thought I already had, but evidently I was wrong. So those are the ones that I actually paid for. Now, let's see what's in the box. Okay. Mrs. Star Alone by John Godin. This is a superb, hauntingly suspenseful new novel of Gothic terror in the 20th century English countryside. So right off the bat, I have a Gothic, which is awesome. We also collect Gothics. We collect everything, seriously. From the very first moment she opened her front door, even the hallway had a darkness about it Meg never remembered before. Couldn't it just be fatigue in the hectic, hurried week in London? The tricks of a too tired mind? But why should there be the lingering smell of cigarette smoke in a room that hadn't been used for 5 days, and the trace of a dying glow on the kitchen burner? And what about the music, the faint, inexplicable sound of music that woke her in the night? Okay, I would have given Uncle Aldo money for this. This alone has made that box worthwhile. Next is Belle Lamington, the unforgettable story of a country girl who finds love in the city, in the golden tradition of Emily Loring. I don't know any of the names in that. This is by D.E. Stevenson. So this sounds like just general fiction or romance. Belle Lamington was shy and frightened in the city until she met Mark, a handsome young painter. With him, she lost her shyness, and others began to seek her company. When he suddenly left, Belle's newfound world was shattered, and disaster piled upon disaster. The city could not offer consolation, and there was only one place to turn. I will give anything a shot, so we'll see. Next we have, looks like a couple of romance in a row. This is Francie Comes Home. It says, fresh from the glamour of England and New York, pretty Francie Nelson steps off the train at Jefferson in her smart new English tailored suit to face her drab hometown in the Middle West, and the dismal prospect of giving up college to keep house for her father, who is in serious financial trouble. At first she is resentful. All her old friends are happily married and she is alone. But high-spirited Frances is soon caught up in the life around her. She takes a job in a smart gift shop, joins a theater group, acquires 2 exciting beaus, and wins a handsome husband. So yeah, this is your typical old-school romance novel. And then we have Greg Bear. I have quite a bit of Greg Bear, but I do not have this one. I don't even think I've heard of this one. Hard Fought. Oh wait, this is a double. Timothy Zahn, Cascade Point. All your lives pass before your eyes at the same time. So yeah, this is a Tor double. Tor double number 2. So I don't know anything about either one of these. And then we have The Puzzle of the Happy Hooligan, a Hildegard Withers mystery by Stuart Palmer. I don't know the Hildegard Withers mysteries. If anybody knows anything about this, let me know in the comments. Murder in Hollywood. The screenwriting team of Stafford and Doby have played so many practical jokes at Mammoth Productions that everyone from the buxom receptionist to the big-name producers feels like breaking their necks. Minutes after Mrs. Hildegard Withers arrives on the set as technical advisor for a film about Lizzie Borden, someone murders Stafford. Why was his secretary searching Doby's office? Who was blackmailing the screenwriters? How does a long-forgotten Greenwich Village murder tie into Stafford's demise? All right. I do like mysteries, so that's also a good one. This is Native Stone, one of the richest, most exciting novels in a generation. The exuberant story of Rafferty Bloom, architect, a passionate young genius who joyously smashed conventions and defied respectable society, by Edwin Gilbert. We'll find out. Next is, I do already own all the books in the Uplift series, but still, I think mine actually is probably in better shape than this. So this will go on in my doubles box for duplicates. And then we have Lillian Peake. There is a Harlequin romance in here. Lillian Peake's passionate involvement. A verbal chameleon, he kept changing. Cling to the Italian in me, Sarney said, and he meant it. Steer clear of my English side. That was the side of him Tamsin didn't know, that Sarn never revealed. I don't think I can even get through reading the back. All right. Oh, grab two. Tarish by Margaret Mays Craig. Patricia Ingram, 17, and in love for the first time in her life. She couldn't resist the appeal of tall, rugged Dick Keaton, who was the smoothest boy in her class. But this is another sci-fi. This is F.M. Busby, The Alien Debt, a major, never-before-published epic. The saga of Bran and Risa continues. So this is part of a series. I'll have to look that up. Don't know if maybe the rest of the series is in this box or not, but I have a couple other books by F.M. Busby, but I haven't actually read him yet. I'm assuming him or her, but I'll have to. Enough Good Men by Charles Mercer. I've broken all the commandments, betrayed everybody and everything except the cause of freedom. A mighty novel of raw young America fighting for its liberty. So this is set during the American Revolutionary War. Micah Heath, frontiersman, was an Indian trader, smuggler, outlaw. Men trusted him and women couldn't let him alone. Winner of the National Book Award for Fiction, The Trouble of One House by Brendan Gill. Superb novel of a family held together by one remarkable woman's love and what happened to those lives when that radiant light is lost. So, general fiction. And we have Conrad Richter, A Simple, Honorable Man. Also winner of the Pulitzer Prize and National Book Award. Doesn't really tell me a whole lot about the contents of what it's about. Here we have another one in the that same series by F.M. Busby. Rissa and Trigari? Treegar? Treegary. Anyway, so I have at least 2 books, the second book in the 3-part series. So I have books 2 and 3. Is part 1 in here as well? At 5, they slaughtered her parents and doomed her to slavery. At 17, she was an exile from Earth, learning new and forbidden worlds. At 18, she commanded an army in space. I am intrigued by this now. This is, I think this is nonfiction. I Saw Poland Betrayed. An American ambassador reports to the American people, by Arthur Bliss Lane. United States ambassador to Poland, 1944 to 1947. This is The White Raja by Nicholas Montserrat. I just picked up a Nicholas Montserrat novel in my last haul. I think it was called The Velvet Pirates. The breathtaking story of an English pirate and a mysterious and terrifying Asian island. I have to be careful of this because it has the word pirate in there, so Mrs. L-Space might try to take this one away from me. Next we have Birthright, the Book of Man. By Michael Resnick. I have a couple of Michael Resnick books. The galaxy was man's for the taking, but keeping it was another matter. I'm trying to figure out what this is. So, Moberg, Athlete, Scholar, Spy by Lewis Kaufman, Barbara Fitzgerald, and Tom Sewell. The amazing baseball player who was an incredible super spy. No stranger story ever came out of World War II. So I am not a sports ball fan, so I don't know anything about the story. I'm sure that this is probably something that people who follow sports know about or is famous, but it still is looks interesting, at least from the spy aspect of it. Don't know how much of this will include his baseball playing career, but who knows? Maybe there'll be dinosaurs. And then we have The Daughter of Bugle Ann, a warm and moving sequel to the unforgettable The Voice of Bugle Ann. Oh, damn it. Now do I have to find The Voice of Bugle Ann? This is McKinley Cantor. So I don't know anything about this, or the back doesn't really tell me anything about the story. It looks like general fiction though. The Primal Yoke by Tom Lee, a brilliant novel of torment and passion. They came together in the high mountain country where nature was as unspoiled as at the dawn of history. They tore at each other with the oldest passions known to man. I love that cover art though. I will give this a try just because of the cover art. In the Company of Eagles by Ernest K. Gann. Thrilling, majestic, the soaring new novel by the author of The High and the Mighty. High adventures in the days when men of courage and honor battled each other across Europe's fiery skies. So this has the World War I dogfight battles. And a Donald Westlake, Killing Time. The outstanding mystery discovery of the decade. Tim Winton, the only private eye in Winton, helped the town run smoothly by knowing everything and keeping quiet about it. But now someone was rocking the boat, and the clock in Tim's head told him it was killing time. The Soweta Legacy by Lori Lutz. Jeff was in love with a woman he could never marry. It could cost his family everything, even their very lives. The story of a white South African family torn by apartheid. Wait a minute. I'm having a deja vu moment. It looks like one of these is going to go on the double pile. That was the same title, right? Yes. Okay. I just making sure I wasn't time traveling. All right. So I have two of these in this one. So one of those will go on the duplicates pile. The man. Bogart, 48. Novel by John Stanley and Ken Davis. I'm back, kid. I'm packing a gun. The cameras ain't rolling, Angel. This one's for real. Bogart, 48. A Tinseltown living on its glittering past, terrorized by Washington's Red Scare witch hunt, self-destructing on booze, drugs, and sex. Armageddon, 1948. A nightmarish screenplay about to become a desperate reality of murder and suicide. A chilling plot to blow up the Academy Awards. A long black Packard and cold watching eyes. The immortal Bogey. The unrivaled Peter Lorre. A ravishing starlet named Norma Jean Baker. And a pounding race against time. So, is Humphrey Bogart the protagonist in this? On the to read pile. Another Greg Bear, Anvil of the Stars. I do already have this one. I will need to see which one's in better shape. The sequel to The Forge of God. So one of these will end up also being in my duplicates pile. Union Square by Albert Halper, the exciting American story of a lusty, brawling city and the colorful men and women whose lives made it mighty. The Cry and the Covenant, a world-famous medical novel by author of Not as a Stranger, Morton Thompson. The powerful story of the heroic doctor who gave his life to save mothers and the children they bore. Sundiver. This is also in the Uplift series, so I do have this one. I think mine might be in slightly better condition. So again, looks like I have the whole Uplift saga in this box, so those will all be going in the duplicates box because I already have the Uplift series. The Silver Answer, Margaret Maddox, Romantic Novelist Association Award, Major Award winner. So, Janet's husband was killed in I can't read that. Janet's husband was killed in a climbing accident. They had only been married 6 months, and she felt she hardly knew him. But there were things she had to know. The obvious place to uncover the truth was among his friends. Janet set out to find them, particularly the men who had been with him when he died. So, is it a romance or is it a mystery? It sounds like a little bit of both. Flood. An hour-by-hour account of the Great Flood of August 19th, the night the rivers ran wild. So I believe this is so this is a nonfiction where he interviews various flood victims on the Great Flood of some year. I don't know. But we have a picture of the flood waters there on the back. But Putnam, Connecticut, the morning after the big rain. I have Elizabeth Gadot, Come Be My Guest, an enchanting novel of young love in strange and beautiful country. Myth Ink Link. I have everything in the Myth Adventures series for Robert Aspirin. So this will also be going on my duplicates pile. The Postman by David Brin. I do not own a copy of The Postman, and now I do. Washington Secretary, yes. Carolyn Markham seeks an exciting career and romance as a government girl. Alice Rogers Hager. Complete and unabridged. The Teachers, an engrossing novel of American high schools, the community pressures and personal conflicts that bend and sometimes break. By Jerry Whale? A novel about Greenwater High, a typical ivy-covered high school in a typical small town in America. Politics from the Inside Out. How to Succeed in the World of Party Politics. The Gabriel Hounds by Mary Stewart. We have another Gothic. A new suspense. Well, I don't know if it's technically a Gothic, but we're going to call it a Gothic. It's a woman running away. There's a building in the background. Can't see what there's light on. But a new suspense masterpiece. The tale of Christy Mansell, a spirited young English woman who pays an unexpected visit to an eccentric old aunt in a crumbling Arabian Nights palace in Lebanon. Christy does not know it, but the moment she passes through the gates of Dar Ibrahim, she unwittingly sets in motion a dark, sinister force that carries with it both terror and death. Yeah, I'm going to say that's a Gothic. This one's a fatty. A Hero for Regis by Jack Hoffenberg. Long, lusty, and sexy. A bestseller. John Updike. Beck is back. Henry Beck, or Beck. Henry Beck, last heard from in Beck, a Book, is back. Famous for his writer's block, A Jew Adrift in a World of Gentiles, the renowned author is now 50 years old in this absolutely wonderful novel. Beck reflects on his fame, roams the world. Misplaced Persons. Altered State, Hallucination. Why can't anyone see Graham? Graham? That was this. Graham is lost in limbo, but he's not alone. At first, 17-year-old Graham barely notices a thing, but he does know that people are ignoring him. The waitress at McDonald's just won't take his order, no matter how loudly he shouts. Then his girlfriend and even his parents look right through him, as if he's invisible. He is. Soon everything turns a misty gray, and the world as Graham knows it vanishes from sight. He finds himself in a dim limbo land of silence, and Graham wonders if he might have lost his mind, until he meets the other occupants of this mysterious dimension and begins a strange adventure that will go on forever, unless Graham can somehow escape. A supernatural adventure story. I am going to move that to the top of my list. The Ivy Tree, another Mary Stuart book. The story of a peerless impersonation. Wait a minute. Trying to figure out if I already own this one. A trick of coloring her walk the way she smiled. If Mary Gray looked so much like the missing heiress, why should she not be an heiress? To the lovely young woman living in a dreary furnished room, faced with an uncertain future, the impersonation offered intriguing possibilities. And so plain Mary Gray becomes the glamorous Annabelle Winslow. But she did not live happily ever after. In fact, she almost did not live at all, because someone wanted Annabelle Winslow missing permanently. I don't think I have that one. Final Witness. When murder and conspiracy reach into the nation's highest places, where does an FBI agent's duties end? When dishonor is the better part of valor. Oh, we have another of the Myth Adventures books, Mything Persons. Again, that will go in the duplicates pile. This is the High Road Trilogy, Volume 1, A Passage of Stars by Alice Rasmussen. I don't own any Rasmussen. A thrilling tale of intrigue, rebellion, and star-flung adventure by a bold new science fiction star. There it is, the first book. So now I have the full trilogy of this, all in one free box. Young Marisa. The first book in the 3-part saga. That makes me happy. Another F.M. Busby, The Long View. The third book in the 3-part saga. Wait a minute. How many sagas are there in the Risa trilogy? I have a few doubles in my news. Okay, so H.M. Pullman, Esquire. Harry Pullman was torn between 2 women and 2 worlds. This tremendous real novel takes you into a man's deepest secrets. Strongly recommended. That back cover art as well. These are just reviews on the back. Doesn't really tell you about the story, except it's the great novel, A Man Who Seemed to Have Everything. And Robert Asprin and Linda Evans, Wages of Sin, a Time Scout novel. I don't think that I have this one by Robert Asprin. So that's 2 Asprins that I did not have. And The Infinity Concerto by Greg Bear. I don't think I have this one either by Greg Bear. And the rest of the Uplift War. So it looks like it has the original Uplift trilogy all in this one box of free books. They're all duplicates for me. So if anybody out there needs the Uplift trilogy, let me know in the comments. And another Hit or Myth by Robert Asprin. Again, that's also going to be a duplicate for me. All These Earths. Another F.M. Busby. A powerful tale of a man who lost a world. Return to Nowhere. Star pilot Woody Purcell's return home to Earth had suddenly become a nightmare. His wife, his commander, even the base records all said he'd been dead for over 5 years. The skip drive, which made interstellar flight possible, had an unexpected side effect, shifting him to a duplicate Earth where history had followed a different course. Now he began a perilous quest to regain his own world, for in the multitude of possible Earths, Purcell might find himself face to face with his double, or discover he never existed at all. And this is The Scourge of Scapa Flow by J. Farragut Jones. Daring and deadly skill marked the men of U-47 and made them the Scourge of Scapa Flow, the most spectacular undersea raid of World War II. One last one. So this is it, our final book, With Gall and Honey by R. Leslie Gorse. It's been a long time since anyone managed to write a good love story with Israel as its setting. With Gall and Honey is a stunning exception. So a vintage love story. All right. That was well worth it for me. I don't know about for you sitting through it, but thank you again to Uncle Aldo for this amazing gift. And thanks to everyone else for watching. I do have another book haul video. I was originally going to combine all the hauls from this one trip in one video, but there was so much here that I wanted to give Uncle Aldo his own separate haul video. And we'll see you soon for the rest of what we got. Thanks.